Get massive sciatica relief by fixing these two simple problems. The first problem is glute muscle activation. Most people with sciatica problems don't have activation of their glutes. In other words, they can't even fire their glutes. They can't flex their glutes, and they can't flex the left and the right independently of each other. And then they also can't flex their glutes apart from flexing their thigh muscles. Independent glute activation is key in fixing sciatica. Let me show you what I mean by this. In seated, like I'm sitting right now, you can sit down too, and I'll show you standing and lying down here in a second. I want you to just tighten your glutes. Think about activating your glutes as best as you can. Go 100%. Really think hard and make your glutes tighten up, and then figure out, hold it, figure out, are your thigh muscles also working? Are your back muscles, your lower back muscles also working? If that's the case, then there is a massive problem for you, because you have got to figure out how to isolate glute activation in order to be able to go through the rehabilitation process with the right way, so that you truly fix the muscle imbalances that are setting up your sciatica for the long term. Here's how you'll fire your glutes in standing. You have to be able to think about tightening from back here and pushing your hips slightly forward. It's like a hip thrust maneuver. You are going to activate your glutes by going into relative hip extension. So if you just push your hips forward, it should tighten glutes. You should practice over time, as you get better at this, not tightening your thighs so much, and your knees might want to bend slightly. That's fine, as long as you feel like you're tightening your glutes. And you want to be holding this for 10 seconds at first, because it helps you to separate the contraction from your legs and just get the glutes working. And it also makes sure that you don't activate your back muscles. Then as you get better at this, you want to lean your weight over to one side and just tighten that side without this side also tightening. And then practice doing the other side as well. Tighten one, just the left, apart from the right, and of course apart from the thigh muscles on that side. And ideally you want to do this while standing around that line. You should be kind of obsessive about this so that you get good at using your glutes and not just always compensate because you're not practicing using your glutes. This is how you solve sciatica. Now if this is too hard for you, then I want you to start lying down. Just lie down like this, on the bed, on the floor, wherever you feel comfortable. And then you got to think about tightening your buns from right here so that you feel the buns working, the glutes working, without the thighs working a whole lot. Now, some people will try to straighten out their legs. Don't do that, because your thighs are going to activate. It may even your body might want to kind of bend your knees, just like we did in standing, and that's okay too. I recommend going 10-second holds and play with the intensity as you're figuring this out, because if you can't get your thighs to get out of the equation here, to not activate, then what you want to think about is tighten your glutes 50%. And if your thighs still activate there, then go down to 40%. Find the percentage at which your thighs don't work, other muscles don't compensate, it's just glutes working, and then hold there. And then as you get better, repeat it and try to go a little bit higher. Go from 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, and so forth, until you can get 80 to 90 or better without thighs dominating the activity here. The second problem that I see people with sciatica suffer with is they don't have good lower abdominal activation. So when I'm talking about the lower abdominals, I mean the abdominals that are below your belly button. If your belly button's right here, point to your belly button. Everything above your belly button is the upper abs, and everything below is the lower abs, the lower abdominals. And it's the lower abdominals that don't activate well. So I'm going to show you how to do that right here in seated. Then I'll show you standing and lying down as well. The idea you want to have here is put your fingers right where your legs meet your body, like the crease right there. Move them up slightly. That's your lower abs. And I want you to draw in your abs and even slouch a bit, because when you slouch, when you bring your body down like this, you're bringing your rib cage down, and that helps your abs to activate. Go as hard as you can, just like you're bearing down, like you're going to the bathroom, and hold it there. Your glutes might want to activate too. That's okay. But truly focus in on your lower abs. Are they activating more than your upper abs? Because it's impossible to separate your upper and lower abs from contracting apart. You're going to get some upper ab activation, in other words. But what you want to do with this is focus on getting your lower abs to activate better than your upper abs, to activate more intensely, more forcefully. If you can't do that, you feel like it's more upper abs, then you are doing this wrong. You're activating your muscles wrong, and it's setting you up for sciatica. And I want you to practice getting your lower abs activated because it's going to be necessary for future exercises to fix the long-term problem of sciatica. This is how you get your lower abs to activate in standing. So use your fingers again. You can use 2 fingers, all your fingers, and just put them in your lower ab area like I showed you, right above your thighs, your hips, and poke on the sides just a bit. Once you feel the muscle there, it's a little bit harder. Then I want you to bear down from here, and you can see what happens in my chest and shoulders. When I bear down, I come down with my chest and shoulders. If you look at my back, it looks like I'm rounding out my back slightly, and glutes kind of want to activate too. I'm doing that forward hip motion as I'm doing this because it brings the front end of my pelvis upwards, which shortens my abs and gets my abs to activate. But you should feel right under your fingers those lower abs tension up. Then think about going as intensely as you can without a bunch of leg muscles and back muscles working. You want to feel the lower abdominals burning or fatiguing a little bit and not the upper abdominals dominating the motion. The most common muscle group that compensates for lower abdominals is upper abdominals. But the trick is your upper abdominals are always going to be working with your lower abdominals. The muscles are very connected. You just have to bias your lower abdominals more. So this is where you have to really think and get through the difficulty of making your lower abdominals come under conscious control so that in an instant you can draw them in and activate them, because you'll need that as you're doing more complex exercises to really eradicate sciatica from your body. But you have to get these lower abdominals to activate in standing, so become obsessive about it. Now, if this is too hard for you, try it lying down just like this. Go lie down somewhere, get a hand under your back. Keep your knees bent like this at first, it's just easier. And the reason for the hand under your back is so that you can have a cue. You wanna press down into your hand. I'm pushing my stomach down and my back, my spine into my hand as if I'm smashing my hand with my back. And another key thing is think about the lowest part of your back right above your tailbone. That's where you wanna have your hand, and that's where you wanna smash down from the most, because that's your L4, L5, lumbar vertebrae, which is associated with your lower abdominals. So if you can smash that part down, then you'll get a better abdominal activation. Now, the hand behind the back is just as needed. Once you feel like you've got the right motion, you're getting the right abdominal muscles to work, then you don't need to have your hand back there. You can just do the motion, and then you're gonna be holding here for 10 seconds and hold the muscle activity in the lower abdominals throughout that 10 seconds. You have to fight at the beginning if you're not getting this. As you get better at this, you can put your legs down and do the same thing, smash your back down, and you can see when I do that, my knees bend because my pelvis is tilting this way. You're doing what's called a posterior pelvic tilt, which is a big deal in the physical therapy world, but I just want you to think about you're smashing your back down and getting your abs to work. When you do that, hold it for 10 seconds and repeatedly do this. My patients that have sciatica, I have them doing this every hour, 5 to 10 reps until it becomes conscious for them. They can get conscious control and do it on command and consistently get their lower abdominals to activate. Let me show you why this is so important. Getting your glutes to activate and your abs to activate are critical in sciatica relief because of the way the pelvis is shaped. The pelvis is these bones that make up your hip area. On the back side, right here where this notch is, it's actually called the sciatic notch. That's where the sciatic nerve pops out. It's a bunch of nerves that come together from your low back area, and they bundle together to make the big giant sciatic nerve. It's right in the middle of your butt, and then you have a ligament that closes the gap here in the notch, so it makes a hole, the sciatic notch. And if your pelvis bones right here are not stable, if they're shifted, if there's problems with your lower back right here, those problems are usually set up because of weakness in your abs and glutes, and specifically your lower abs. Let me tell you where the abs attach. So if we're talking abs, of course, they start up in your a rib cage area. Those are your upper abs. Belly button's about right here, lines up with about L3. And then your lower abs are below that, and your lower abs attach to the rim of the pelvis bone here. When your abs have good strength, that means they have a good resting tension. That means just at rest, you could be sitting around lying down, the muscles have a little bit of tension in them. That tension provides stability. And then when you begin to move, when you go to stand up, when you go to walk, your abs should naturally just increase the tension in order to create stability for movement in your body. you don't have good ab strength, if your patterns so far, the way that you move, are such that you're compensating with other muscles and you don't use your lower abs, you're using your upper abs more, or leg muscles, or other muscles that you shouldn't be using, back muscles a lot, then you're going to lose stability in the pelvis and set up movements that are not good, movements that can cause pressure here in the sciatic notch where that big sciatic nerve comes from. The other thing that the abs do, the lower abs, is because of that stability, they're providing a good foundation for movement for the glutes. The glutes attach on the back side of the pelvis here onto the tailbone, and then along the back kind of face of this part of the pelvis bone, and then they come down and attach to the thigh bone out here. And so glutes kind of span this area right over the sciatic nerve, and they help to create stability in the pelvis. So you need to be able to activate both lower abs on the front and glutes in order to then do exercises where you increase the strength of those two muscle groups. Then you'll be creating better stability in this area, including the low back, because some of you guys might have disc herniations, like known disc herniations, or you're pinching the nerves right here that end up in the sciatic nerve, and you get more stability here. The abdominal muscles here, remember I told you the belly button lines up with about L3. The fibers in that area generally will stabilize the L3 area of the spine. So a little bit below that and a little bit below that, you got L4 and L5, the lowest lumbar vertebrae. And so if you have a herniation at L4-5 or L5-S1, these discs right here, it's often associated with weakness in those lowest part of the abs. So if you get that good stability, then you're helping the herniation, then you're also setting up good pelvis stability, and that sets up your glutes to work right so that you are moving excellent in your hip, and you're set up to do great glute exercises, good abdominal exercises, and then you can eventually move on to walking and other exercises that you should just be able to do normally for everyday life, but with excellent stability. And here's the problem that I want to make sure you know about that commonly happens. I see this with my sciatica patients, is they end up doing exercises that they saw on the internet or maybe were given to them by a healthcare professional, and there is intent to exercise abdominals or glutes in those exercises, but it was never stressed to that person, or maybe they didn't catch it if it was stressed to them, that they needed to be consciously activating the lower abdominals and the glutes. And if you're not intentionally activating those two muscle groups while doing, say, a bridge exercise, then it's possible that you'll just compensate because you're not used to using those muscles and use your hamstrings or use your back muscles or use your quads or hip flexors on the front of your hips and thighs and miss completely using those lower abdominals and glutes. That sets you up then to do reps and maybe even progress it, add weight, add more intensity, and do the exercise better, but not using the right muscles. This is why sciatica then becomes worse over time. It might improve a bit because you're doing some movements it's doing something, but never fully goes away, or maybe it goes away for a time but then comes back with a vengeance often. And it's because these root problems were never addressed, and it's setting up muscle imbalances that then linger and they fester really if you keep getting stronger in the wrong muscles because of the compensations, but then it sets you up to worsen the condition later on. So you've got to fix these root problems. That's why these two simple problems that I'm talking about, glute activation and lower abdominal activation, are so critical in solving sciatica pain for the long term. If you want to know what other treatments you can do for sciatica, I want you to go check out this video. It's the top 10 exercises to heal sciatica for the long term. I cover it. It's a live video, so you'll see me there live with my community. Go check it out. It's going to be helpful for you.